Oh, sur le taxi marqué Roxham Road, border.
Don't forget to bring the luggage in, because you can't go back. Once you cross, it's over. You're not going back. So bring the luggage. Okay. So you're under arrest for entering Canada illegally. Okay? Ilegal Canada. Follow me first.
I'm sorry, mister. Are you like a private taxi for people crossing illegally in Roxham Road?
Not just for Roxham Road, but I am a private taxi, yes.
Yeah, because I saw like on your car that is riding for the border here for Roxham Road.
Yeah, so when people get off the airplane or the bus, they can read it so they know where they're going.
Okay. Do they have been trained before coming here to know like what to say?
Yeah. I just tell them when they get here, they need to listen to these people, what they say, then they decide what they want to do on their own.
And do you know if they need to be, do you have a PCR test or vaccination proof or anything for coming here?
I'm not exactly sure what they need.
But when you pick up them, you don't ask for anything. You just pick up and you bring them here.
Yeah, they call me. Yep, they call me and want to ride the Roxham Road, so I pick them up.
Okay.
I'm the
And
cheapest one. I charge $60.
60
All
bucks?
the way from Plattsburgh. Everybody else is between 70 and 90, and some overcharge.
Is it a good like business to cut that you bring people here in Canada, like for Roxham Road? Is it like a thing that is really popular for taxi driver?
Other taxi, like when the bus pulls in Plattsburgh, there's a lot of taxis there waiting to see if anybody needs to come here. But I don't just come here. I'll bring people all over. I like to do long distance stuff, not just refugees.
Okay, yeah.
But if a refugee comes off and needs a ride here, I bring them.
Do you do it like often per day, coming here?
Sometimes like maybe once a day.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you know if you have a lot of people like coming here? Like, do you have like other people that you know that bring some people here every day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other cab drivers. Yeah. Yep.
So it's a common thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I gathered, the people, like the main border, the legal ports, because there's American police, they just turn them around, send them back. I don't understand.
It's because he have no American like officer.
That's what I understand.
Okay.
I don't exactly know. I just, like I said, I try to, when they need a ride, they call me, I give them a ride, and a lot of them I feel bad for. I heard some of their stories, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not their fault they're born there, It's very sad.
Do you know which country they are coming from? Like
A lot. Haiti, Nigeria, Africa. They're from Colombia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, all over. All over.
And they are most from bus or most from plane that's coming?
Both.
Both? Yeah.
Ah, there you go. On a un homme avec un bracelet.
Have you heard? I just heard the police tell, here we go, we have a man with a bracelet. Which kind of bracelet we are talking about? Is it a bracelet for criminal record? We'll never know, but I just heard it from the police. And I just heard the question from the police to them, do you have a vaccination card? And I just saw the woman say, no, she's not vaccinated. So we let people enter here and they will contribute to spread probably the virus when we have a health system that is collapsing and we put more measure for protecting it. So we put more measure for protecting our health system, we let them enter without vaccination or anything else. Who is punished on this story? It's all of us.
Well, millions of Quebec residents are currently being subject to unscientific curfews to stop the spread of the highly transmissible, but also way less severe Omicron variant of COVID. Yet, the illegal border crossing at Roxham Road remains open for arrivals. While normal Canadians cannot board a plane or a train to visit loved ones in other parts of one of the world's largest countries, at the end of a residential road in Quebec, cabs from upstate New York are taking cash to bring illegal migrants to Canada to be greeted by the RCMP before they step illegally across an international border. And no one's doing anything about it, except for Alexa Lavoie, our Quebec-based reporter who has been shining a light on this issue. Alexa, thanks so much for joining me. I wanted to ask you, how long were you at Roxham Road this last time? And how many taxis of migrants showed up in that short time?
I spent around maybe 3 hours or maybe around that, and I saw 5 taxi with family, like entire big family. So I saw almost 40 or 30 people like crossing over that day. And as well, we saw other luggage like being bring when we arrived, first of all, like that day. And I took the chance to intercept the taxi driver to ask him some question that day. And I was so surprised. He answered all my questions perfectly. And I was like, thank you to answer to me. But probably because he doesn't know what is that problem in Canada, the Roxham Road.
You know what? You're so nice because you don't think that you don't think that he's being a bad person. But when I saw that, I thought, how brazen is this guy? In another time, this would be called human trafficking. It's so brazen what he's doing that they call the taxi company Roxham Road. And he told you, we go to the airport, they come out of the airport, they see Roxham Road, they know I'm the guy, I take their money, and then I dump them off at the Canadian border. And he had the gall to say, well, I hear their stories and they're really sad. Okay, great. Why aren't you doing something about it? Why are you making it my problem? Why are you taking them to the border and say, okay, off you go. You're Canada's problem now. Why isn't he doing something? I guess I couldn't understand how brazen and shameless it all was. It was just up front. He's taking migrants to the border. At the southern Mexican border, they call these people coyotes. They bring people from Mexico across the desert and dump them in Texas. And it's a big problem and it's a huge crime. But if it happens in fancy upstate New York, nobody seems to care.
No, because they know that Canada is always open, but we are open for legal entrance. Same if sometime, we receive a lot of people, and we know that our health system is collapsing. It's why Quebec put a curfew and some insanity, like now the health tax and everything. But we put that for the resident of the province of Quebec, where in the province of Quebec, we have a illegal port of entry where immigrants come and most of them test positive to COVID. We bring them in Montreal and we will impose some more measure to the resident of the province and a tax because of them. They say that they cost a lot for the health system. But what about them? They will not probably pay the health tax. They will not probably pay any services from our health system because we are taking care of them. And now it's the resident of Quebec to pay the bill.
Not just pay the bill, but live with the consequences. So, residents of Quebec are basically subject to checkpoints and check stops, and they have to show their papers. And this happens to you when you're doing the lawful activity of reporting. The police will come up and hassle you and tell you, even though you're out and about reporting for us, carrying a piece of paper that says, I'm Alexa Lavoie, I'm doing my job, They'll still hassle you. They still would very much like you to go home. They tell you when you're reporting on mass arrests where you can stand
Yeah.
in your own country on the street as a free woman to do the work of journalism. And yet at the border, where someone is arriving illegally by a guy who takes money,
Yeah.
who makes a living trafficking people to the Canadian border, and the RCMP say, come in with us, come stand in this warm building, we'll get you processed into the country. It is appalling, the different treatment.
But what I don't understand, why the US don't do anything for that. It's advertising that it's actually an illegal market, like to bring
Yeah.
people to the illegal port of the entry. And what the taxi drivers say, it's because they don't have RCMP from the US border, because if it was the case, they would be turned back to US. It's why they come to Roxham Road, and because they have been arrested in the side of Canada with the RCMP, because I called there, they say because they have been arrested, we don't ask for anything, like no proof of vaccination, nothing. They don't need to prove anything to us because they are under arrest. So I was like, what's the point? We have the COVID that is spreading all over, and all the citizens of Canada are paying the price of this illegal like activity that nobody seems caring. But I know that Justin Trudeau say that they want to stop this activity, but it renew for 5 years the facility that is at the border.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Hey folks, that was an excerpt from my show, Rebel Roundup. Now, to get the full meal deal, why not go to Rebel News Plus, sign up, and never miss a Rebel News Plus show in the future.